How's this not working now?
Mr.
Oh.
Suzuki.
Yes, I'm very
Hello.
happy to meet Bob again. Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah, impressed talk.
I just wish we could meet again. And I
Yes,
want to say personal thank you to you.
yeah, I'm very pleased. So my slide was used in your talk.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, and my one question is, so the famous beginner's book has a mention on the centripetal force. So how you think about centripetal force?
The centripetal forces are always inward forces, and you resolve them into circumferential forces, because if you have to swing a string around, the forces on is pulling inwards on the rotating weight, not outwards. Centrifugal is a word that had to be invented to be an opposite to centripetal, but it's a centripetal force that is an action, not centrifugal. So that's the force we have to use. It's an inward force. If you let go of a string, there's a rotating ball, out it flies. So it's the forces subtended to the surface by holding it, while the weight rotating, but the force is from the center. So it's an inward force really, because that's where you're holding it. It pulls everything together. And you now got to make certain that your forces are now in opposition to that, but it's in opposition to your centripetal forces. It's a difficult consequence, but I'll send you some cartoons, to explain it easier. It's not that easy to understand that it always is an inward force, but it is. So it's resolving that to a circumferential force where the mathematics was made differently. If you just look at centripetal, you can put the center of rotation off center and you get the same answer, but that will not allow you to move stuff around the surface. Hopefully I can, sadly I've got this hearing impediment at the moment, which is causing problems.
Right, thank you very much. Anybody else have a question or comment? All been stunned.
There's one in the chat, two in the chat.
Oh, I can't reach me. Oh, here we are. Well, there's one which is a thank you from Nikki Edwards, and then there's one from, I think it's Ben Bull. Is that?
No, the tides will have a smaller force. The tides are a function basically of the moon. It doesn't actually shift continents. It's not a crustal movement, but the moon will pull the tides around with it.
Right.
And thank you so much for a very provoking talk. I apologize, I must leave Nikki Edwards. Thank you. Anybody else could write it down because my hearing is that bad, sorry. Or is that above everybody's head?
No, I understood it, yeah. But can you say a bit more about the Maurer cycle and how often it's been quoted?
What's this?
Maurer cycle.
The Maurer cycle is in my book, but I'm trying to get it accepted. I'm fighting the Geological Society. I cannot get a publication because I've got a website and they want the copyright. And once you're on a website, they will not give you a publication anymore. So I have to publish it myself and have to, a lot of difference unless someone else publishes it with me together. So, but as it's in my name, they will not own the copyright. They are being very obstreperous in that respect. And there's nothing I could do against those rules. So,
right.
So the book is for sale at Amazon, and I'm hoping it will be through our society and the lectures, it will be promoted.
Yeah. See, there's a question or comment coming from Hayden Bailey. He's asking about the westward movement of South America.
Well, how fascinating talk. How does the westward movement of South America in your northward movement of the African plate? Well, basically, they're all moving at the moment, but the southward movement of South America, it's the westward movement. It's shedding away from the heavier plate. African continent has stayed roughly in the same spot almost since the beginning of Pangea. So everything is shedded away from Africa, and Africa itself is now splitting up under these centripetal forces. So it's breaking up now along the Rift Valley. The whole lot will find itself in the Pacific in about 250 million years, if you listen to Professor Kotzizi's animations, where it will reform as a new supercontinent, Rondinia being the old supercontinent before ours. Professor van der Meer in our club, Dubai van der Meer, he did his PhD on the previous supercontinent 13, was it Rondinia? So it will redistribute itself as soon as the center of mass changes, the whole cycle changes, and you get a redistribution of your masses on the surface.
Thank you, Bob. I'm not a professor, though. I'm just a doctor, just a PhD.
Is that you, eh?
Yeah, I'm here. I just want to say thank you for the very interesting talk. Although I've got a background in technophysics, there's so much material in here that I really need to think about deeply, because it just goes back into the real basics, which everyone took for granted in a way. So I'm sure we'll continue our discussions on many of the topics that you've presented.
Oh, yeah, thank you very much, sir. I can now well enough to meet you now. I wasn't well enough before. I couldn't even hold a knife and fork, but I can now, we can now discuss the help you've offered us, which is a tremendous boost to me. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, let's meet soon.
But hopefully the logic train meets your expectations.
Oh, definitely. Unfortunately, I need to run to something else. But again, thank you very much, Bob.
That's a real treat for me. Thank you, Duvet. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'll sort it out now that I can now hold a knife and fork again. Yeah. Okay, fantastic. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. It's made my evening for me.
Right. Thank you, Duvet. Any other questions? I can't see any here.
No.
Oh, what chat?
So Africa passed over a mantle plume would it because it is passing over a mantle plume, but it's not splitting it. The mantle plume will come through a weak point, a suture line or something like that. You know, the plumes need to escape somewhere. They're there. They need to escape. In Morondovia, we're underneath India with the Deccan Flats, where they will change the viscosity, and with the change of viscosity, you will actually, your momentum won't increase, but it will move you further. So it will affect you, but in that way, it won't actually split, but it will aid movement. It's like oil on a road. You'll slide a lot faster into the ditch.
All right. Any other questions or comments? No. Well, I shall have to go away and read your book again, Bob, because I think I understand more of it now. The first time it was a bit of a struggle, but
it's not an easy subject because I've had to go through a whole long area to explain why I think the sun is rotating the earth and it's not a fully rotating body. So the mathematical modeling as it can be verified and substantiated. We do a lot of modeling of nearly every process, and this needs to be your train of logic has to sustain a fair degree of examination.
Yeah,
that's the reason I went through this bit of an arduous middle bit. I had no choice to do so, but to do so.
Well, if nobody else has got any questions, I'm going to bring you to a close this formal part of the meeting. Can we just give Bob another round of applause, please?
Thank you very much. Is that it?
No, well, almost. Don't go yet. Our next monthly meeting will be on the Wednesday, the 9th of November, when John Node will be talking about, well, the title of his talk is almost like being there, new approaches to deciphering animal behavior from trace fossils. And there's a link on our website to John Node's blog. That closes the formal part of the meeting. You can stay online for a chat if you like. Thank you very much, everybody.